Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of How I Met My 20s. Every time I do these intros, I always think of what is up you guys? Welcome back to another episode. Like how the YouTubers do it. I resist the urge, but I don't know. I get a giggle out of it. Anyway, I gotta give the whole spiel again. If you're new here, hi, I'm Bree. I'm a 23-year-old college student that has no idea what she's doing with her life, and I am taking the show How I Met Your Mother and comparing it to how my 20s are going so far and kind of using the lessons and things that happen in the show and trying to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing or what I'm not supposed to be doing. Just kind of learning from the show. And if you don't know what the show is, How I Met Your Mother is about a guy named Ted Mosby. He's an architect. He lives in New York City, and he has 4 close friends, Marshall, Lily, Robin, and Barney. And they all are in their 20s, going into their 30s, kind of just figuring out life. And the whole premise of the show is just Ted telling his kids an insanely long, unnecessarily long story about how he met their mom, but really it's not how he met their mom. It's about just how he navigated life with his friends. But I mean, in the end, yeah, it is about how he met their mom. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about Lily Aldrin, the icon that she is, and the big old emotional roller coaster that she goes on in season 2, where she kind of hits this pause button and steps back. And basically, if there's one character who really captures the I need to flee the country and fix my life without telling anyone kind of vibe, that is her. And I feel like it is something very relatable in your 20s. But so we're going to dive into why sometimes you need to step back and hit pause and change everything and disappoint people and dramatically run off to San Francisco. Hey, if flights are cheap, go for it. But let's get into it. A quick refresher on Lily Aldrin, if, again, you don't know or, you haven't watched the show in a bit. She's the mom of the group. She is a kindergarten teacher. She's an aspiring artist. She can really pull off some bangs, let me tell you. Basically, she decides to make a change, that she needs to figure out what she really wants in life. She kind of goes about it in maybe not the best way, but hey, you don't know what you're doing. You're in your 20s. I get it. Because, the thing about your 20s is they're supposed to be a mess. You're not supposed to have everything figured out. And she seems like she does, but then you start to learn, she needs something more, needs something else, or a change. And that's the thing about your 20s. It's one moment you're fine, you're good, you're stable, you're motivated, you know exactly what you want. And then the next moment, you're Googling how to know if I'm in an existential crisis or I'm just hangry. Which, hey, is pretty hard to decipher, okay? But anyway, Lily kind of teaches us that growth isn't always pretty. The behind the scenes is a mess. And it can look chaotic or come off as selfish. And sometimes it takes running away. Metaphorically and maybe literally like she did, because it's something that you feel like you need. So what we're going to talk about today is just kind of stepping back, hitting pause, being shameless about taking time for yourself, and navigating the disappointment aspect of it all, or judgmental aspect. There's that moment where you start to feel it. It's like an itch kind of thing, or a little voice in your head that's hey, what if we just stop? Literally just stop. You're done. Take a break. And then your brain is please no, I have things to do. There's so much going on. Your 20s are chaotic and constantly going, but your brain is like, too bad, we need to do this, which is a good thing. If your brain is pushing it, do it. Well, okay, that's actually not true in a lot of circumstances. Because if your brain is telling you to jump off a cliff, maybe don't. Anyway, so before Lily realizes, she needs to take a break, she's teaching, she's planning her wedding, she's got a lot of stability in her life. And then suddenly it's the little things that start to add up, and she realizes that maybe she's living a life that she didn't really choose and that she didn't expect for herself or want for herself. I mean, there's so many options and so many opportunities in your 20s, or just in life in general, that it's like, I can try out something new. This isn't really, pleasing me. This isn't really going the best for me mentally. I can try out other things. That's okay. So let me stop what I'm doing right now that is not making me as happy as I wish I'd be. She needs to try something else in order to figure out what truly makes her happy, because it's all she's ever known is Marshall and just teaching. And sometimes when you've stuck to the same thing for so long, that thing that you had in your head for so long that you wanted, you grow and your mentality changes and your interests change. So it kind of hits where it's like, okay, wait, I feel trapped in not only the path that I made for myself, but the things that other people expect from me and have kind of chosen for me. So here's a good clip of Lily having that moment where it's like, maybe this isn't what I want.
By saying something that is even more awful.
Like what?
Sometimes I wish I wasn't a mom. Sometimes I want to pack a bag and leave in the middle of the night and not come back.
Robin shouldn't be with Barney. She should be with me. You serious?
I don't know. I mean, I love being a mom. I love Marvin so much. But do you remember when I wanted to be an artist? Art was my whole life, and now it's been months since I've even picked up a brush. I spend the whole day taking care of kids at my job, and I come home and it's more of the same. It never lets up. It's just really, really hard, Ted.
Have you talked to Marshall about how you feel?
Have you talked to Robin about how you feel?
Fair enough.
So I think that's really relatable because pressures add up. And if you process that you're going through all of these things that are stressing you out and are putting all this pressure on you, and it's not even something you want. So analyze whether or not it's worth it. And sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Like, I've definitely felt that kind of pressure. Like, if I don't change something right now, I'll regret it for the rest of my life, or, I will spiral. Like, I'm doing myself a disservice by not processing that I need to change and actually acting on that. Or just in general, like, acknowledging the thought. I think that's the first step. Like, that's what's so important, is being able to acknowledge that thought and not just push it aside because it's easier. It also comes down to a thing of not living up to your potential. Like, that concept of potential and being like, okay, I'm good at this, but there's something else that I'm good at too that I could be even better at. So in your 20s, all that pressure gets really loud. So when Lily panics and decides that she needs a change, I get it. I'm going to get a little deep in this moment, but I went down to school in Nashville for songwriting and music business, and I had this idea that it was all I ever wanted. And then I started to really get in my head. I go down to Nashville and I'm going to school in person, and all of those little things start to add up. And it completely ruins my mental health. It took a lot out on me mentally, and I kind of couldn't give in to that thought of leaving, because one half of me was like, in order for me to be okay mentally, I can't stay here anymore. And the other half of me was like, this is all I've ever wanted. Why ruin a good thing? Plus, everyone has all of these expectations of me. I can't just give up. And I also feel like there's that stigma around transferring schools or like dropping out of school, where it's like, you're not strong enough to stick it out. You're giving up on your life. So I had all of that going through my head, and it was just being able to accept the actual urge to step back was insanely difficult. And I think that's a big lesson for being in your 20s, is listening to that thought. Sure, sometimes, I mean, you could get it for little things. Even like if you're studying, where it's like, I need to step back from this. Prioritize yourself and listen to those thoughts. Because if you don't, all it's going to do is continue to gnaw at you and make you feel worse and make life harder. Like, it's okay to be selfish. I think that's the thing. So the first thing you need to realize is, hey, I'm having these feelings. Maybe I should think about it more. Maybe I should listen to these feelings. And I mean, that's what I did, but it was a hard journey getting to that point. But so now that we've done the whole, okay, let's realize that we need a change, we have to get into the actually making that change. Time to commit to the bit, which is not an easy process. Because, like, it's one thing to feel like you need a break from your life, but it's another thing to actually be like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm hitting pause. It's me time. But so again, it's like, you start to worry about everyone else. You have these thoughts, okay, I need to stop. I need to take time for myself. But it also turns into, okay, but if I actually do this, this is going to impact this person, this person, this person. And I don't know how they're going to feel about it. And then sometimes you talk to them about it and you say, this is what I need. And sometimes they're supportive and sometimes they're not. I am very lucky to have had a good support system in that moment, but a lot of the time it's hard. Like, you can try to explain yourself till you're blue in the face, and sometimes there's people who don't need you to explain yourself and will just, okay, no problem. But then there's times where you're saying it till you're blue in the face and they just still can't understand or support it, or like, because it comes from a place of like them needing you themselves, because they're dependent on you, and it's also something that they've only ever known. And in Lily's case, she was considering, hey, I'm engaged right now. Like, I can't just leave. I committed to this thing, but I don't know if I'm ready for it. But if I leave, I'm breaking the heart of someone I care about. But really, like, I think the important thing is to realize, yes, it seems selfish, but you can't be there for that person if you're not there for yourself. If your thoughts are constantly revolving around needing a change and needing to take time for yourself and feeling overwhelmed, how are you supposed to think about the other person? It's better for the two of you, or whoever it is, it's better for that relationship to take time for yourself so that you can fully commit to it and be there for that person. It's not a selfish act. It's an act for yourself, but it's not selfish. Do you get what I mean? Like, it's not selfish because it's something that you need to do so that you can give, energy and time to other people. So yeah, it's not a selfish act. Just remember that, okay? So there's a good point in the show when Marshall finds out that Lily wanted to go to art school or an art fellowship in San Francisco, and they had to talk about it, but they also used the pause button, where they have this thing where if it's a hard conversation and they don't want to talk about it and they don't want to fight, they'll pause and they'll just act like everything's normal. And so Marshall, when they finally have the talk, he's struggling to support it. So anyway, here's the clip.
I'm sorry, I just need to do this before settling down forever.
So now we've gone from I was never gonna do it to I need to do this. Did I leave the room at some point? When did that happen?
Oh, maybe when you said you wouldn't let me do it.
I never said that! You know, if you're having these kind of doubts now, what's gonna change in 3 months? Maybe we just shouldn't get married at all.
Maybe not. Pause. So you're just like starving?
Totally. Red Lobster?
Oh, lobster, 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 you are delicious.
Oh, God, I love butter sauce. There's nothing bad about it. Say something bad about butter sauce, I dare you.
I wouldn't dare. Marshall, no! We're on pause. There's no crying in Pause Land. Pause Land is a magical place with popcorn shrimp mountains and butter sauce rivers.
How did we get here? A couple of days ago, the biggest problem in my life was did Ted eat the last pudding snack pack in the fridge?
I think there's still one left.
Dibs.
Unpause.
Unpause.
Look, I know this sucks. It's just something I'm going through. I'm not asking you to understand it. I'm not asking you to be happy about it. I'm just asking you to support it.
Look, I want to, Lily, okay? I really do. But I just can't.
Why not?
Because you're scaring the hell out of me, that's why not. What if you decide to go be a painter and then you realize I don't fit into your life anymore and 3 months becomes forever? Can you promise me that that's not gonna happen?
Marshall.
Because if you can't promise me that, we should just break up right now. I'm not gonna wait around for 3 months just to have my heart ripped out.
Marshall, I love you.
Can you promise me that that's not gonna happen?
Pause.
No, Lily, we cannot pause this anymore. Can you promise me that that's not gonna happen?
Pause.
Why do you want me to pause? It's just a great use of the pause function, baby.
Thank you.
Like, again, stepping back can feel selfish. It can feel like you're letting people down. It can feel like you're the villain of the story. But also sometimes we put that in our own heads and the other person supports it, but you're too scared to actually have the conversation. And it's just like, sometimes you have to be the villain in someone else's story. You need to stop being the side character in your own. So you get to that aftermath. It's the part that not a lot of people talk about. You know, just getting to that calm after the storm. And so when Lily comes back, she's not perfect. She's not fully healed. She's not magically a world-renowned artist, but she's more herself than ever. She's more secure in herself than before. And it takes a bit for her to realize that, though. I think for a while, she is still she comes back and she has that anxiety, too, around coming back. There's a lot of stress about coming back into the environment that you had left and the people that you had, kind of stepped back from. There's like a lot of anxiety behind that of being like, is everything gonna be the same? Are they gonna accept me again? Are they gonna let me back into their lives? Are they going to resent me for this? So here's a clip of Lily being nervous about coming back to New York and seeing all of them. And feeling like, things have moved on without her.
Lily, what are you doing here?
Oh, I was just walking by. I wasn't. Oh, you mean New York? My program ended. It was just great. Just lots of fun. It was awful. It was the worst mistake I ever made. I'm so sorry, Marshall, and hello.
Lily, this was the worst summer of my life.
I know. It was the worst summer of my life.
It was the hardest thing that I've ever had to go through.
Can we please get back together?
All that crap you said to me about We need to figure out who we are outside of us, and we need to learn to do things on our own. It broke my heart. 3 months ago, you broke my heart.
Can we please get back together?
Lily, you were right. All that crap was right. So no. No, we can't get back together. We shouldn't. You know, at least not right now.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, will we still see each other?
Yeah. I think so. I don't know. This is all really new to me. I just got out of a long relationship. I like your hair.
Thanks. I figured new city, new color.
It was love to us was all that we had.
So yeah, this is the part where you start to rebuild. You rediscover little things about yourself, like what you want, what you don't want, who you actually are when you're not living for other people's expectations or like up to other people's expectations. I feel like you're able to gain confidence and set boundaries, and you stop agreeing to things just because you feel bad saying no. And you stop letting people guilt trip you into abandoning your own needs. And I realized that that's something that I started to be able to do when I came home and I started to work on myself. Anytime I pause, I come back feeling so refreshed and feeling like a different person, even if it's the smallest little thing that I paused for. I come back proud of myself for processing what I needed and acting on that. And as I was acting on that, I was able to think about all of the things that I actually wanted and maybe even work towards them. I realized I was able to set more boundaries and prioritize my mental health a lot more. I think that's a big one. When you pause, it's the first step of prioritizing your mental health. Even if it's a small thing, it's you prioritizing, kind of clearing your head and or at least organizing the thoughts that are in there, or just taking a deep breath. Again, hey, last episode we took that deep breath. I hope you guys are still breathing. Also, afterwards, I think it shows a different level of maturity. Even if in the moment it feels like you're being a child running away from what's happening in your life, I see it as an act of maturity. I think being able to do that for yourself is something that takes a lot of strength and thought. And after it all too, the beautiful thing is you realize that the world didn't fall apart just because you put yourself first. You have those thoughts of like, I need a break, whatever. And then you have all the other thoughts where it's like, but if I take this break, everything's going to go wrong and all of these bad things will happen. But then afterwards, being able to realize that all of those bad thoughts were wrong, like all of the negative thoughts were wrong, and the world didn't fall apart. And if anything, it finally started making sense. Ugh. What a time. It's the best feeling. So even if you can't just, stop working and just not show up to work or quit on that spot, it doesn't have to be the physical act of just stopping everything. It can be the act of stopping certain things. Like if you're getting overwhelmed with work, okay, you need to sit down with yourself and at least consider why you're struggling with work, what the issue is. Just at least after you clock out, don't take at least like an hour to just consider, okay, why am I being so stressed? What's stressing me out so much? What's adding to the negative impact on my mental health? And so if you take an hour and you sit there and you think that, sometimes it's, okay, I need to look into other jobs, and that's an act of pausing. Or even sitting and relaxing at home and watching TV, watching a comfort show. It can be the smallest things. It's just taking a pause. Like, it doesn't have to be the huge running away from everything and like completely changing your life, a huge switch up like Lily did, and like I did, honestly, too. Literally, the pause button is self-care. Like, I mean, in the show, the pause button is avoiding confrontation, but the way that I'm talking about it right now is just taking a break, pausing, and thinking. So I think overall, if there's one thing we can learn from Lily, it's that taking a step back doesn't mean you're failing. It just means that, like, you're choosing yourself, you're choosing your growth, your joy, your sanity. And that's the most 20s thing you can do, is be able to choose yourself and, reconsider what you want and what you need going forward in life. Because this is only the beginning. If you feel overwhelmed or lost or stuck, take a break. Press the pause button. Don't worry about what other people are going to think. Don't worry about whether or not you're disappointing them. Because as long as it's something that's going to help you, it's worth it. Okay, acknowledge the thought if you're having it, or even if you're not having those thoughts. I want you guys to just at least sit down with yourself and analyze what's going on in your life, how you're feeling about it all, and whether or not you need a change, even if it's a little thing. Don't stress over all of the things like, is everyone gonna accept me when I come back? Is everyone gonna be okay with me when I come back? Think, I'm gonna be okay with me when I come back. I'm gonna be a happier person. I'm gonna be better. That about sums it up. Next week there will not be a new episode. Enjoy your Thanksgiving break. Hey, going into that pause button again. I know I mentioned it last week, I think. We're going into Thanksgiving break. Take the pause. Enjoy the break. For all my people still in college right now, listen, finals are coming up. You need to enjoy your break. This is a break. Don't stress it. Manage your time well. It'll all be okay in the end. Don't worry. Okay? So, happy Thanksgiving. I'm taking the break, so I will not be recording next week's episode. But the week after is the final episode. But we're gonna go out with a bang, guys. You know who's coming up next. There's only one person left, and that's good old Barney Stinson. Your 20s should be full of moments where you're like, I should not be allowed to make my own decisions. So we are going to talk about that on Barney and just live, laugh, love, and PH. So get excited, suit up, and I will see you then for the finale of How I Met My 20s. Also, since we're talking about Lily, let me know in the comments if you guys like olives. All right, bye-bye.